If you can't tell, 3.5 stars is kind of my generic rating for like, it wasn't special, but I liked it. Good times were had. Hi everyone, welcome to my booktube channel. I'm Siwon and I love to read. So as you can see, I'm moving. So all of my books, everything, it's all in boxes, and to be honest, I am bulk filming today. It's June 26th when I film this, and I am going to be filming my June reading wrap up today, but this is probably not all the books that I'm going to read this month because it's not quite the end of the month yet. But this is when I have time to do this. So without further ado, I have to tell you, I got the Kobo Libra Color, and it is life-changing. It's incredible, and I can read graphic novels now in ebook format on Kobo, which is incredible to me, because I think graphic novels are so pretty and so fun, but I don't know, there's just something about a paper graphic novel that feels like it takes a lot of work. But I've been loving reading the graphic novels on the Kobo. So first I read Nimona by N.D. Stevenson, and I rated this 5 stars. It was really, really cute. It's about this girl who becomes assistant to this villain, and the ending made me tear up, which doesn't happen with a lot of books, because if you know me, you know I don't really cry at books. So it was wonderful, and the art style is just, it's so cute. Another graphic novel that I read, or rather graphic novel series that I read, is Alice Oseman's Heartstopper series. I read all 5 of the books that are out. I love this. It's so sweet. I love Nick, and I love Charlie, and I love their relationship, and I love the way it handles hard topics like coming out and eating disorders and family dynamics and all of that kind of thing. 5 stars for all of those. Next, I read a cozy mystery called Books and Bribes by Lucinda Ray. This was a 2.5 star read for me. It just was bad. You're supposed to believe that the protagonist is super smart. She's not. She's actually really stupid and annoying. And the love interest is just like, whatever. I don't care about him. I figured out the twist really early on, and the magic that exists is just like not fleshed out at all, and it was just really bad. But there was a talking cat, so 2.5 stars. Next, I read Heartless by Elsie Silver. This is from her Chestnut Springs series, and what can I say? 4-star read. These are all of the Chestnut Springs books to me are like 4 stars. They're really good. They're really fun. Next, I read the second 2 Prison Healer books by Lynette Noni. So this is The Gilded Cage and The Blood Trader. And to me, this series is basically like, you read The Prison Healer and you're like, wow, that was amazing, 5 stars. You read The Gilded Cage and you're like, wow, that was even better, 5 stars. And then you read The Blood Trader and you're like, wow, that was even better, 5 stars. Cannot recommend this trilogy enough. It's just, I think it's incredible. I think the story is so well crafted, and somehow all my favorite characters survived. Which, you know, is not always the case in a fantasy novel. So, yeah, I just adored these books. Okay, I read Dating and Other Theories by Susanna Nix. This is basically about, there's this girl and she tries to set her friend up with her annoying neighbor, but it doesn't work out, and then she kind of ends up in a weird friendship, quasi-dating situation with said neighbor. And she is hiding it from her friend because she doesn't want things to be weird, because like, it's weird to date your friend's ex. And she also she used to hate her neighbor, so she's just like, I don't want to like explain how the whole thing came about, because like I don't want to admit that I set him up with you, because we just pretended that happened naturally, and like all of this stuff. And she's afraid of attachment, and he's desperately in love with her. It's a he falls first novel, and it was cute. I rated it 3.5 stars. Like, I had a good time. That's kind of it. I had a good time. That's it. Another graphic novel I read is The Girl from the Sea by Molly Knox Ostertag. It's about a Selkie who falls in love with a girl on land, and the adventure that they go on together. The art was gorgeous. Like, it was just beautiful. It was really lush. It was really vivid. It really drew me into the world. However, the story was just kind of meh. Like, I was like, why? Like, the thing is, like, a Selkie can only like walk on land if she's like tethered by her true love's kiss and whatever. And so it was very insta love, even though like the human girl was kind of like not into it at the beginning, but it was very like insta love on the Selkie's part, and like that kind of turned me off. And I just didn't really care about, like, the plot didn't do anything special for me, but it was still, I mean, it was still gorgeous and I had a good time. So like 3.5 stars. Next I read We Are All So Good at Smiling by Amber McBride. I rated this one 4 stars. This is a novel in verse about a girl with clinical depression. She goes to the hospital where she meets this boy who's actually a fairy, and they end up being next door neighbors, and they go into this forest at the end of their street, which is a haunted, enchanted forest. And the whole thing is kind of a metaphor for depression and mental illness, and the way it sucks you in and traps you in your own mind and your own fears and all of that, and overcoming those things. And it was really beautiful. It's definitely one to read again and again and again. The poetry is beautiful. The characters are really fun, and it's just a really lovely story. Next, I read Some Girls Do by Jennifer Dugan. I rated this 4.5 stars. This is a queer book. It's sapphic, which is my favorite. And it's about these two girls who are initially rivals, and they fall in love, but the one girl is still in the closet. So it's kind of about navigating that relationship and striking the balance between being in the closet for the comfort of the one person and wanting to show off your love to the world for the other person, and how do you navigate that. Next, I read The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. This was a 4-star read for me. I really enjoyed it. I did not see that twist coming. It's basically about this woman who was accused of murdering her husband, and she's now in a psych ward because she does not speak. She never speaks. She does not speak, which is why it's called The Silent Patient. And it's about this doctor who is hell-bent on trying to help her, and yeah, I won't spoil it, but it was good. Next, I read Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. This is like a cult classic on Book Talk and Bookstagram and all of that. So I gave it a read, and I didn't expect to love it as much as I did, but I rated this 5 stars. I thought it was beautiful. I thought that the character development was really good. I just thought the writing was lush and romantic, and it was like strangers to friends to lovers, and it's a small town romance, and it's like strangers to friends to lovers, and it's small town, and it just was really beautiful. Next, I read another sapphic book, which is Mistakes Were Made by Meryl Wilsner. This is an age gap romance, and it's basically best friend's mother. Basically, these two women hook up at a bar, they leave, they think they're never going to see each other again, and then Casey, the younger girl, she shows up to brunch with her best friend the next morning, and her best friend introduces her mother, Erin, and it's the woman from the bar the night before. So they sneak around for a while trying to, first they try to deny that anything is between them, and then they're like, okay, well, it's just we're friends, and it's just sex, and it's a friends with benefits sort of situation. And then they kind of admit that they're basically dating, and that this thing is very real between them, and it's the progression of their relationship. And I enjoyed this. I rated it 3.5 stars. It was easy to get through. It was fun. I liked it. I'm not really an age gap romance girly. I just find it weird. And anyway, I don't know. Anyway, I enjoyed it. 3.5 stars. Next, I read Afterlove by Tanya Byrne. This is about a girl who dies and becomes a Grim Reaper. And she leaves behind this girlfriend she's madly, madly, madly in love with. And the first half of the book is basically just her falling in love with her girlfriend, which honestly I thought was boring as shit. And like, I mean, I enjoyed it for a little bit, but there's only so much gallivanting around town, falling in love and making out you can take before it becomes old. But once we got to the second half and she had died and become a Grim Reaper, it was much more interesting to me, because then it's a matter of like, she wants to be with her family still, she wants to be with her girlfriend, but she can't. Is there a way that she can keep them from being separated, etc.? And I thought that part was really interesting. I just didn't think the falling in love with the girlfriend part was particularly interesting. But you know what? I really liked it in the end, and it is queer. 3.5 stars. Okay, I read this arc called Bound and Bewitched by Ren Cartwright. It's a novella, and it's about this witch who lives on the outskirts of the village. She's kind of ostracized because of her magic. She's the only magic wielder in the village since her mother died, and she finds out about her father's debts that he has, and he's in danger of like losing his house, losing his livelihood, the farm, everything. And she takes it upon herself to help him. And she prays to this goddess to give her guidance to figure out a way to help. And the goddess ends up appearing personified in her kitchen. I thought that everything about this was great. I thought the pacing was really well done. I thought that it was like the right length for what the story was. I thought the writing was really good. I just thought it was good. And I rated it 4 stars, and my only wish is that it were longer so I could get more of the couple. Next, I read The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is my 3rd Taylor Jenkins Reid book. I loved Daisy Jones and the Six. I DNF'd Malibu Rising, but Evelyn Hugo, I adored. I could not put it down, and it was just so good and so beautiful, and I felt devastated when it was over, because I was like, there will never be another book like this book. And it made me cry, which again, books, me crying, not really a thing, but like this book made me cry. And I couldn't put it down, and I just loved it. It's literally about the 7 husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and she tells this journalist about each of her husbands, and then reveals who the true love of her life was, which is, spoiler, none of them. Okay, then I read Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This is a paranormal romance, which is very different from any of her other books, and I was really nervous to pick this up because like paranormal romance isn't really my thing. I never had a Twilight phase. Like I don't care about werewolves and vampires. But I was really intrigued as well because it is so different from all of Ali Hazelwood's other works. And I ended up really liking it. Loved the characters. I loved Misery. I think she's so smart and snarky and fun. And I loved Lo. I thought he was really sweet and protective. I love Ali Hazelwood men. They're all like really sweet but like quietly fierce, if that makes any sense. So I rated this 4 stars. I read it in one sitting. It was really, really fun. I would read it again just for like Misery and Lo and their relationship and stuff. The next book I read is another sapphic romance. It's called Late Bloomer by Maisie Eddings. Another 3.5-star read for me. It was cute. It's about a girl who wins the lottery. She buys a flower farm and she gets into a dispute with a woman who thinks that she's actually the rightful owner. They fall in love. Next, I read Kingdom of the Cursed by Kerri Maniscalco. This is the second book in the Kingdom of the Wicked series. This one suffered from middle book syndrome for me. I started reading this the end of March. It's now the end of June. It has taken me, what is that, April, May, June, 3 months to get through this damn book. And it's not a really long book, but I just could not get through it. Like, I felt like at the end of the first one, like, okay, we solved the, the plot line of the first book. Great, the story's over. So I rated this 3 stars because there was nothing wrong with it. I just was not feeling it. And I'm not going to finish the last book because I did start the last book and then I just DNF'd it because I was like, I don't care. Okay, and the last book for this video is 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. I reviewed the Good Girls Guide to Murder trilogy, and if you watched that video, you know that I loved it. This book was spectacular. I think I loved it even more than Good Girls Guide to Murder, even possibly more than the last book. This is about basically 6 friends who go on a road trip in an RV and they get stuck in the RV with an active sniper outside. And the sniper reveals that one of them has a secret and that if they reveal the secret, they will allow the other 5 to live. And somehow Holly Jackson manages to maintain the suspense throughout like a 350-page book that is set in an RV. And of course, there are 6 of them, and the title is 5 Survive, so at any point in time, you're waiting for one of them to drop dead. And it ends up not being who you expect it to be. And just all of the twists were so good, and yeah, I just loved it. I thought it was so good. My one complaint is like the FMC Red is a bit like, honestly, she's kind of boring. She has no personality. She's very doormatish. She's just like, well, I have no talents. I have potential, but like that's what people say when you're not doing anything with your life. And she's just like really bland. But honestly, there's so much going on elsewhere that it didn't really matter to me that she was like, if it was like not about the interpersonal tensions between the 6 of them and the sniper outside and the secrets hanging in the air, and if it were more about the narrator, I would be like, yeah, this kind of sucked. But I honestly didn't feel like the narrator needed to be like a really interesting, exciting person to enjoy it because there was so much help happening elsewhere. So yeah, I absolutely adored this book. 5 stars. Whew. So that's 20 books. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new here, like and subscribe. If you're returning, thanks for sticking with me. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.